everyone has a voice. And it's so cool these days to see how people are expressing their voices through blogging. Blogging seems to be one of the hottest trends, and I get to sit down and chat and dialogue with Doni Brown. I'm so excited about having Doni on the show because she's going to give us some cool tips and tricks on how to grow your blog and work with different brands on your blog, as well as how to profit from them. So Doni, I'm so excited to have you on the show today. Thank you for being on Dialogue.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Now, I think it's really cool because you do some amazing things.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching you for some time now. And so you are the founder of Blogger Bootcamp.
Right.
You are also a style blogger.
Correct.
As well as teach people. You teach people how to grow their blogs or their
Yes.
brands. So, I mean, tell me about that. Like, how do you do it all?
Well, so I started Blogger Bootcamp because I love to teach people and because so many people were asking me, about my blog and how I do it. So I figured what better than to just put on an event that is solely based on teaching people about that,
Right.
So I get, I get a couple of my blogger friends together and they will sit on the panel and we discuss everything, like anything, like we try to cover everything, but of course, there's always something more to learn. But, at the boot camp, we cover like how to profit from it, how to manage it, how to get more followers, how to grow, all that stuff. So it's a lot, but it's fun.
It's fun. Okay, and so this is something that you do full time.
Yes.
You strictly focus on helping people develop their blogs.
Yes.
So, I mean, how in the world did you even get started doing something like this? Like, I am the type of person that kind of feels like blogging, teaching people how to make that a blog, how to even make that a business. But you have managed to do that
Yes.
full time.
Yes.
So how did you even get here?
Well, okay, let me start by saying I'm only 19, okay?
19.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
See, a lot of people are like, oh my God, like they have to take a step back when they hear that.
19 years old.
But yes, I'm
you
19.
have started a business, a profitable business,
Yes.
a reputable business at
Yes.
that through blogging.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Continue.
So, of course, because I'm 19, that means anybody can do it. You don't have to be of a certain age, whatever. You don't have to be at a certain place in your life. Blogging is for everybody. But I did that. I started my blog when I was 15. Well, like 14, 15. I've been doing it for about 6 years now. So, yeah. So, I started it right before my family went through a really rough period. And so I started it because, I love fashion, of course. And my blog was a lot different back then. But regardless, I had it and I was just doing it for fun. And then shortly after, me and my family, we went through a really rough period where we were basically homeless. And so we ended up living with my dad's sister. And, it was a lot because I have a younger sister. So there was 4 of us, my mom, my dad, me, and my younger sister. And she's like 10 years younger than me.
Wow.
So she didn't really, know what was going on. But of course I did. And along with us, having to move in with my dad's sister, because they lost their jobs. That was the reason we were in that position,
Yeah.
And so then I also had just started being homeschooled, online. So that sounded like a good idea, but I actually became very, depressed a little bit because I had to sit there and watch my parents struggle every day. You know what I mean? Because, when you're going to school or whatever, that's like your time away. Or even if you have a job or whatever and you're going through something else, that's your time to
you need to be
take
able
your
to,
mind off of it.
it's like one of those things you get to
Yeah.
socialize with other people, have happy
Right.
moments. That's part of why we go to school and why we go
Exactly.
to work is so we can socialize with other
Exactly.
people. So I can completely understand what you're going through.
Yeah, so it was really rough, and I would, some days, I didn't feel like getting dressed or, and things were, it was really hard to watch everything, sometimes we barely had money to get my sister to and from school. And so, me staying at home was actually, good for the situation. It was just, a lot for me at the time, but I ended up, using my blog as my escape. And so it turned out to be great because I continued to use it as that, whether I was in a good place in my life or a bad place, I still use my blog as a way to express myself, as a way to take my mind off of things. That was my why. It was my escape, And I always tell people that whenever you're starting a blog, you need to have a really good why, because that's the only way you'll continue to blog, because other than that, if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, if you're doing it just to make money, you're not going to stay motivated.
So there has to be a purpose behind that blog.
Yes.
And so here you are, like, you are in a dark place. Everything, your family is in this horrible situation,
yes.
which I'm so sorry to hear that, by the way. I mean,
it's not fine, but
well, but a blessing came from that. Your business came from that. So then, so continue. How we get to the
how it came out.
Yeah.
So, shortly after, which thank God, the period of us staying with them, it wasn't too long, but it felt like a long time because we were all, 4 of us in one room, it was a lot. But shortly after, my parents, they got together and they said, you know what, enough is enough. And we're going to wake up every morning and we're going to pray together before it's time for the youngest sister, before it's time for her to go to school. So they got up extra early and they went in the living room and they prayed together. Now my aunt and them, they were looking at them like, why are y'all up so early? Like in the living room praying, like, you guys could do this later in the day, or, it seemed a little extreme. And, but for them, they were like, no, because the situation, we have to come out of this. So once they started doing that, once they started coming together and agreeing, which I was just like, whatever, like I was so, because, I was just stuck in my own situation,
Absolutely.
Which I should have been in there praying with them, but, but
sometimes it'd be like that, you're going through some desperate measures and you're like, I just need my time. I don't want to think about what's going on. I need to take care of me. But
exactly.
I'm glad you probably finally came through and you decided to start praying with the family. I hope that's where this is going.
Unfortunately, I didn't start praying with them.
Okay.
I did start praying on my own time, but I didn't start praying with them in the morning. But, it's a little too early for me. Like, I still don't get up that early. But
it's okay. I'm not a morning person either.
Yeah, I'm just not. But, yeah, so they started praying. And luckily, God blessed us. And they both ended up getting really good jobs. And I remember the day my dad, because he got his first. And the day my dad ended up getting his interview, we scraped together some gas money, to get, because it was on the other side of town. We lived way far, south, like Fort Worth, Arlington area. Okay. So the interview was all the way on this side of town. So we were like, okay, we got to get up here, but on that day, my mom ended up finding out that there was a fashion show happening and they needed stylists. Interns. Do you remember this?
Oh my goodness. Okay, I have a feeling. I know where the story is going, but keep going, because the viewers don't. All right.
The viewers don't know. So, because I wanted to be a fashion designer. Like, that was my dream at the time. And my blog was just like an outlet for me to have fun. But my mom knew, I wanted to be in that environment. So she was like, well, at the, you can schedule your interview for the internship at the same time as his interview, so that you guys can both be over there. And so I was like, okay. So, I tried to find something cute to wear or whatever. Oh my God, I'm about to cry. Okay. Let me get it out. Okay. So, I tried to get myself together and all that. And so I remember coming in, I didn't know what to expect. I was really nervous. And I remember meeting you in the lobby, when I was waiting, for my interview. And it was just something about that whole experience where I was like, I know I'm meant to be in this environment and doing these things, and, God will allow you to have, have opportunities like that when you don't think everything's working out or going right. God will just let you have an opportunity or a situation, and okay, this is what I'm working towards, this is what I want to be doing. And it motivated me. I was just, interning, but it was still fun to me.
Yeah.
And I wasn't in college. Most of the people that were doing it were in college. They were way older than me. But I was like, no, I just want to be in this environment. And I hope they don't tell me no because I'm too young or whatever. But luckily I got it, and my dad got his job. And so it was just everything began to move in the right direction.
Isn't it amazing how every person that you come in contact with your life has something to do with you propelling into your purpose?
Yes.
I think that is so amazing how all of this led into you now starting this amazing business with teaching people how to blog, your blogger bootcamp. This is great. I mean, I feel like I'm like, oh my God, let you finish the story. But I just love how everything was so divinely connected. And I'm not even into fashion, but I can say for myself that just was one little thing that led me into where I am now.
Yes.
So cool that this was that was part of the story. Okay, yes. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. But yeah, so then shortly after, like I said, my mom got her job, and we were able to get new cars, and because there were so many things happening to us, like both of their cars broke down as well. Like everything that could have happened to us happened, during that time period. And so, and I remember when we were in that situation, we could not, of course, because we could barely get gas money to go anywhere. So we weren't able to go to church. And so we would watch church online. And my mom, she really wanted to go to Pastor Cheryl Brady's church, on this side of town. And when we finally, got the jobs and got everything together, got our new cars, we were looking for a place. The place we ended up getting was right over here on this side, so she could go. Like, everything worked out. I was able to be on this side for, the fashion stuff. She was able to be on this side so she could go to church over here. Like, we were just happy because everything happened. And I feel like God takes you through certain things, so that you can learn to trust him, but also just so he can move you to where you need to be, because none of us had the desires to do any of this stuff until we were put in that situation, So I think it was, a good thing that I went through that, even though it was hard. And then also I can share it with other people and,
absolutely
help somebody else. So
perfect. So how did you actually get to the point where you decided that, okay, fashion blogging or style blogging, I should say, which is that style blogging different from fashion blogging?
Well, it can be, because style blogging is a bit more specific, meaning like you're probably talking about your own style.
Gotcha.
So then fashion, you can talk about reviews of fashion shows, you can talk about the latest trends, you can talk about different stores that are opening, whatever. Like, it's a broad topic, know? But yeah, so I used to focus on fashion, and I would never post pictures of my style and stuff, but my blog evolved into something else. So then I started posting my own pictures of myself and all that stuff. So it evolved, but I think that over time, just because of stuff, I was experiencing and stuff like that, I was styling. After I stopped interning, I began styling myself, not myself, but I began to do it on my own, freelance, And so, I was just interested in showing people my outfits and things like that. So I was like, well, let me start doing style blogging. And that's how that came about. And then I ended up becoming the style editor for DFW Beauty Guide and stuff like that. And so, it just evolved in a way, and that's the thing. When you start your blog, it may be one thing, but it'll end up somewhere else usually. So
awesome. So then when did you get to the point where you started saying, you know what, I'm going to take this more serious, and this is going to be my business, and you started profiting from it? When did you get to that place?
I got to that place about a year ago. I said, okay, I need to make sure that this is helping me, and I always tell people, your blog needs to serve you. It needs to be a tool, not just, something you do for fun.
Right.
It needs to serve you in some way. So for me, I said, okay, I enjoy this a lot, so I want to make this my full-time thing. I want to make sure that this is worth my while, because I've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
That's when I decided.
So what are some of the things that people can get from you, Doni? If they're going to go visit your website, which we want to make sure all the viewers do go and visit.
Yes.
What are some things that they can get from your website? What are some things that you are going to teach them that can really help them, whether they're in a ministry, whether they are a style blogger like you, or a fashion blogger, or someone that's just sharing their story, and they have a purpose behind it, like you said? What are some tips that you can give us?
I would say, number one, when you first start, do not have any huge expectations. Everything comes with time, and everything has its season. Everything doesn't always work out the way you want it to. It can, but don't expect yourself to become some overnight success, and don't get frustrated easily. You have to have patience, and you have to stay motivated.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say, when you first start out, make sure that you are consistent. That's huge. Consistency is key. And also make sure that you are giving value. Never change up what you're doing because of what you see somebody else doing.
Absolutely.
Continue to give value. Continue to do it from your heart, I would say that like that's the biggest thing. And once you start with that, then you can really get into the technical stuff, which on my website, you know, I have tons of posts where I'm teaching different things. And there's also lots of freebies on there. Like in each post, I always give freebies and stuff that you can download, and you can, you know, stuff that helps you, like different guides and layouts and templates for stuff. So, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing all of that information.
Thank you.
So I do have one more thing that I absolutely love to do when I have people on the show.
Okay.
So have you ever heard of this game called Table Topics? Or
I have.
You have? All right. So I think it's so great, and I think it's a great way to end our show today.
Okay.
So you get to pick from the magic box.
All right. All right. Let's see. Okay. What do you miss about childhood?
What do you miss about childhood? That's a good one.
I miss being around my extended family all the time, and being in Arizona. I think I had like a very good childhood. I mean, like on paper, it probably wouldn't sound ideal, but to me in my head, like it was everything to me. And I was always with my grandma and my grandpa and my aunt. And it was just very fun. And I love Arizona, you know, West Coast. So yeah. And I was very innocent then. So
very innocent then. We probably need to talk about that a little bit more and what happened to the innocence. All right. So if guests want to know, if our viewers want to know more about you and your blogging world and what all of the crazy, fabulous things that you do, how can we find out more information about you, Doni?
You can find out more information about me on DoniBrown.com, DoniBrown.com. And all the information you need to know about me is on there, or Blogger Bootcamp, anything you need to find right there.
Awesome. And the cool thing is, for all of you who are trying to grow your blog or develop your blog, Doni and I have decided to team together and give you all a special surprise. So if you want to learn how to get some of those cool things that we're offering, be sure to click the link that's in the description box. You will get all the information that you need. And can you actually tell us a little bit about what you'll be offering and the cool stuff that we'll be offering?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I recently came out with a guide, which is kind of like an ebook, you know, but it's a guide for getting sponsorships for your blog at any level. Because a lot of bloggers, they don't know, you know, where to start with making money, and a lot of them don't have products to offer or anything like that in the beginning. So the best way to go is getting sponsored content and making money. So I have a guide on there, and I teach you everything from pitches, contracts, you know, where to look for the people that you want to partner with, all that stuff. So I have it all in that book. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a freebie away out of the book, you know, a template for you to take for free, so you can get a little taste of what it's going to be like.
Awesome.
And then the actual ebook is $27.
Perfect.
Yes.
Well, once again, thank you so much, Doni, for being on the
Thank
show.
you.
And thanks so much to all of you who are so loyal to the Dialogue Show. Until next time.